So Andrew, we got an update on the LeadCart situation. I thought this was very funny and interesting. So what happened was, so we got two Mohammeds in the story. Okay, we got Mohammed from Digital Think, and we got Mohammed from LeadCart. Okay, just so I'm going to keep referencing these two guys in Mohammed. So Mohammed,
it's not
from
confusing at all.
Yeah, Mohammed from LeadCart saw our video and found me and sent me a message. And he was like, hey, I saw that you made the video. You got my picture in the video. Would you mind taking it down? And then, we started having a conversation. Like, hey, man, like, why don't you like tell me your side of the story, what's going on, and what happened. So I want to catch everybody up on what's going on with LeadCart and everyone who bought. Okay, I also need to correct some of the things that we said in the last video to kind of just get all the facts right. Okay, so this is the update. This is our exclusive story. Hey, do you think we can have some animation that goes like that when I say exclusive? Exclusive. Good morning, marketers. Exclusive. We got the interview. So. All right. So first thing is LeadCart was a startup that failed. Okay. So what he says is that he had a bunch of developers that messed up, gave him wrong estimates. He had a co-founder who ended up leaving or quitting. They ran out of money. They shut down. All right. That's what he said. So that is what, that's what happened. Right.
And sometimes business deals just go bad. Yeah. Okay.
It was just, and I totally get that too. I had the same thing happen to me. I got developers and this shit doesn't get done, whatever, and you end up, it's like, okay, this is done now. Okay. Mo from Digital Think Tank, he's saying the solution to this, because now they have all these customers, right? He's like, the solution is to get all the source code files, put it into a zip file and send it to all of the buyers. Right? So that way everyone could just have it. Right? So I asked Mo from LeadCart, I said, why don't you just release the code? What's the problem with that? So what he told me, he says, the software requires multiple servers in a complex infrastructure, which includes like needing to have like an API to Stripe and a bunch of stuff like that. You're going to have to host it, all that kind of stuff, right? It's not built for an individual to just like plug and play. If you're familiar with like Code Canyon, you could buy like codes and scripts and stuff like that on Code Canyon and kind of like host it yourself with a couple clicks. This software is like not made for that. So it's not made for an individual, right? So, his argument, which I actually agree with, is that, the code, if it was released to everybody, most people would not be able to do anything with it anyways, right? If I was one of those customers and he just gives me the code, I would not know what to do with it. And the amount of effort I would have to put in to like doing all that, like why don't I just go get another shopping cart? It's just too much work, right? And then he says, and I think this is a really good point, he says that it could do more harm than good because people who know what to do with the code will likely just make another shopping cart platform. People could make a shopping cart platform and start offering it as an LTD and then shut it down too, right? Which I actually think that's probably true. And then what he's worried about is that the blame keeps going back to haunt him, right? Because people might see that it's the original LeadCart code and they might think he's involved in it. And if somebody else takes that code, launches another shopping cart and the same thing happens again, then it's just coming back and that's not good for the community.
Okay, I can understand his I can understand him wanting to prevent any additional harm. I can understand that. However, and I mean, I'm not a developer. I've worked with some tech companies, some tech startup companies, and I've collaborated with some developers, and I've had enough conversations with that world to know that. Now I'm talking about something that's way above me, but there are plenty of open source examples of tools that people use on any given day. So I don't know if I really buy that it's not possible. I mean, I'm just like you, man. If someone gave me the code, I wouldn't be able to do a damn thing with it. But I know people that are talented and skilled in that area, and my understanding is they throw it up onto GitHub. And check this out. I read an amazing book years ago called One from Many by D. Hawk. And for you watching this video right now, I highly recommend you check it out. I learned a term in that book called chaotic Organization, Chaotic Organization. And it's actually a book about the founding of Visa. It's pretty crazy that Visa had this kind of origin story. And it's all about the organizations, people that are distributed, coming together and working for towards a common cause. And I think that's why open source code and GitHub and all of these different ways for developers to collaborate and come together globally, you could never, no single organization would ever be able to compete with a decentralized option, in my opinion.
Interesting. So you think like a decentralized version of LeadCart could work? That's interesting.
That's my argument. But again, I'm not a developer, so I couldn't give you a technical sound response to that. However, my gut is telling me that some smart developers would definitely find a way. Interesting.
So what was cool about talking to both Mo's, they both mentioned that giving up the source code when your lifetime deal that you sell fails is a new trend in the lifetime deals industry. So Mo from Digital Think says that AppSumo has now added it into their terms of service. So if you promote on AppSumo and you shut down, they get the code. That's what Mo from Digital Think. He says because he's the one who started promoting that idea, that they heard that. He told me that they heard that and they actually put it into their terms of service, right?
Well, that's cool. That's good to hear.
And then Mo from LeadCart says that he would never agree to a deal where he would give up the source code. And he says, somewhat quoting specifically, there's no way I would give up my source code. The source code is the main ingredient of a business. It's an IP. You don't give it away for anything. So he seems to be like, I'm not giving this up. So he still sees some value in having that code, I guess. I mean, if he's saying that he's not doing even the code now, but he still sees a lot of value in it. So I can get why as a business owner, like let's say if I have a software, it's going to go on AppSumo or something like that. And they say, hey, if you fail, we get your source code. I could see why, you might not want to say yes to that because there's still value in it. And so then what he told me is that people have offered to buy the code from him. And he said offers from anywhere between $10,000 to $100,000. And he said he didn't want to sell it because he doesn't want to see it on the market, which is, I don't know. So,
I mean, he's certainly entitled to his opinion and he's well within his right to make that call. However, in my view, he is going to have a really hard time in the coming years because everything in business is pushing towards a Web3 decentralized version of whatever we're using today. So his mindset is, many people would say his mindset around that is poisonous. It's poisonous because people are actively, there's a very growing grassroots community out there that is pushing towards a decentralized Web3 future where our data will no longer be owned and siloed and all of that. And so but
that's not going to stop. Wait, that's not going to stop like SaaS businesses, like startups from forming. There might be some, software out there for stuff like this. That would be interesting if a lot of software becomes...
But more and more businesses are open sourcing their code. Hedera Hashgraph, man, one of the biggest projects in the world, just open source their code.
You're right.
For this, I don't know him. I've never had a conversation with him, but he's going. What I'm saying is he's going against the grain, and he's gonna be butting heads against all kinds of business people and developers and blah 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 because he might find a small sect of people that are thinking about the dinosaur ways. But I worked in the industry for a while. I'm not working in the industry anymore, the decentralized tech industry. But yeah, he's gonna have problems if he doesn't update his mindset with where things are going, where the trend is going.
Maybe. I think it's interesting that he got these offers between 10 to 100,000. So I said, like, why wouldn't you take it and just tell them that they have to serve everyone that had a lifetime deal? But he's saying that they want the code to like kind of launch their own thing. Like it's not going to be anything to do with LeadCart. The brand name of LeadCart is like, dead now, right? So he's saying that I'm like,
but he could rebrand and I understand.
Yeah. So I'm like, would you sell it to somebody for some price that then, just tell them they have to serve everyone? He's like, yeah, I'd be open to it, So I don't know. I don't know how much it costs to serve all the customers, but I did get some stats about how many customers he got. So first things first, some corrections from our last story. Mohammed from Digital Think, I said in the last video that he was processing the payments on his platform. That was not true. He was an affiliate for LeadCart, and people were paying for LeadCart on LeadCart's website. So Mohammed did not do those transactions. Also, LeadCart launched in 2018. I think that we may have mentioned that it launched in 2020, but it actually launched in 2018, and they started doing lifetime deals like right off the bat. So some people may have had it for like 4 years using it, and some people may have only had it for like 4 months. It shut down in January of 2022, right?
Okay.
And then he told me that he sold between 800 to 1,000 accounts, right? And they sold between $300 to $1,000, right? And a lot of them, I guess if you paid $1,000, you had like an agency account, which allowed you to sell branded workspaces. That's what they were called, like a workspace to other agencies. So which led to over 2,200 accounts on LeadCart.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that's interesting. I don't know exactly how, I never used LeadCart, but I assume if you would have paid $1,000, it give you the chance to like maybe set up your client websites with it inside of a branded account. I could do that with ThriveCart. So maybe that's what that was. So I know he was saying that about 10% of the people who use LeadCart used it like a lot, were using quite a bit. So that's still a lot of people. And at that price point, that many sales, you know, I don't think he made $1 million. It doesn't look like. It looks like more like maybe like $500,000. So, you know, he's paying out affiliate commissions and, you know, all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, it is what it is. You know, over a 4-year period, $500,000. It's not crazy, not crazy money, right? It's not like, you know, he made $1 million in a year and took off, right? So, you know, I could see that how maybe it's not a, you know, it wasn't a great business. So then I asked him, I said, why do you think ThriveCart succeeded where LeadCart didn't? Because ThriveCart has been on a lifetime deal since they launched. I think they launched, in 2016. I could be wrong. They've been around for a long time. And what he told me was, he says that ThriveCart thrives with their affiliate program. So ThriveCart does have a really good affiliate program. They pay, I believe, 40 or 50% commissions to affiliates. And he said that LeadCart failed because they didn't have an affiliate program, which I didn't get that, because when he was promoting it, these lifetime deals, like for example, on Digital Think, and I think he did a few other platforms, they were affiliates, right? But I guess he didn't have like, because if you're going to do like a real affiliate program, you need an affiliate manager, you need, you know, all the, you know, recruiting people and all the assets that they need. And, you know, there's also a lot more to having like a really good affiliate program. You could just recruit people. Anyone can sign up and they can become an affiliate, you know, that sort of thing. So they never ended up setting up all that stuff. And he also says that ThriveCart is selling for, he called it a high price, getting the full lifetime value of a customer up front. And he was comparing it a lot to SamCart, which we also mentioned in the last video as well, how maybe the average lifetime value of a shopping cart software buyer is like $600 or $700, right? And we talked about this last time too, where like ThriveCart is basically figured out what the lifetime value is, and that's kind of what they're selling at, right? But at the same time, if he was selling between 300 to 1,000, you know, maybe he just shouldn't have had those agency accounts, right? Because they were adding on more and more accounts there, which doubled his user count. But then he told me some other interesting stuff about ThriveCart and their strategy, which I actually thought he obviously has some insight into he's a smart guy. He obviously has some insight into the whole shopping cart industry. So what he was saying is that like ThriveCart doesn't innovate. They create what's popular in the marketplace. So they said their strategy is he was calling it land and expand. You land the client, then you add other products and upsell it. And he says, based on what he knows, when they launch Learn Plus, which is free for ThriveCart users, you could still upgrade to unlock some other features.
Yeah, the basic model is it. Yeah, I just got ThriveCart because you convinced me to get it the last time we talked.
That's right.
And I'm
Did
sure
you got Learn Plus, right?
Did
you upgrade the Learn?
I'm going to end up upgrading to Learn Plus, the actual full. Yeah, I think the basic model is okay, but I don't think it really gives you the flexibility that most people would want on an online.
There's some features you need. But anyways, it was an upgrade of like $200 to like unlock all of it, right? One-time fee, $200, right? So he said that he believes, or he somehow knows, or whatever. I don't know. He just kind of mentioned they did about $1 million when they launched Learn Plus. Oh, okay. So, which is interesting, you know, it's interesting. And also, I think he mentioned to me.
What did he call it? Land
and expand. That's the first time I heard that.
Land and expand.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And then I think he also mentioned to me that ThriveCart has about 12,000 customers. So 12,000 times 700, you know? And then he was mentioning to me how SamCart launched a cart builder and landing page builder. Then ThriveCart launched a cart builder and landing page builder, right? And then SamCart launched an LMS. Now ThriveCart launched an LMS. So his perception is that like SamCart is the leader as a SaaS product, a monthly with a monthly fee. And so whenever they're kind of creating new stuff, then ThriveCart will come along and they'll create their simple version of it, right? And then they have like an upgrade for that one too. Then you just pay that one-time fee, and then you get that too. So different business models for sure, but it was just interesting getting his insight on the whole shopping cart model.
Yeah.
So Mo from LeadCart, his solution to satisfy everyone who feels gypped or whatever is he put together a partnership with Pay Kickstart, which is another shopping cart software I've never used, and I don't know them. I don't endorse. He says he's not an affiliate. He's not getting paid for this, is what he told me. And they're offering credits to LeadCart customers towards their monthly plans. So if you would have paid $1,000 towards LeadCart, they'll give you $1,000 credit to Pay Kickstart.
Well, that was cool he did that.
Yeah. And so then I was like, why wouldn't you do that with someone offering a lifetime deal like on ThriveCart, right? And apparently ThriveCart and LeadCart founders had some beef in the past. So I just thought it was pretty funny too. I won't get into the details of it. He told me a little bit about it, but I just thought that was funny that they also had some beef. So, but then he also said, hey, if you know, what's the guy from ThriveCart? I forget his name right now. I know his name, so I forget right now.
Oh, you told me his name.
Yeah, from ThriveCart is whatever. Let's leave it for now.
The founder of ThriveCart.
Yeah, he was like Bartlett, something Bartlett, Josh Bartlett. Yeah, Josh Bartlett. So he's like, if you know Josh, he's like, you could put together some deal for the LeadCart customers to move over to ThriveCart. So I don't know. I mean, like I don't know how if you'd actually follow through with that. That would be interesting. Yeah, so. That would be great. I mean, if you can message all the LeadCart people and say, hey, we're going to give you a discount if you want to move over to ThriveCart. I think it's interesting that people would even buy LeadCart if ThriveCart's in the market. Like the only reason you might buy it is because you don't know that because ThriveCart's there, it's established, it's been around, So if you're paying $1,000 for LeadCart, just pay $700 for ThriveCart. It's there, it's been around, it's not going anywhere, right? So it's kind of interesting there.
Yeah, I don't know the first thing about all of these different cart options. I've been learning just from knowing you and hanging out with you and having these kinds of discussions. And when you flagged the whole LeadCart situation, it was a total bummer news for anyone that bought in and expected to have that lifetime deal. And sometimes business deals go bad. You were saying how you've had some business deals that go bad. So have I, and it stings. Clearly, anyone who wants to goes through that experience is going to do the damage control and try to salvage whatever they can. It's bummer news. I like. It's funny that he wouldn't sell the code and then also doesn't want to open source it. So I mean, it's his call at the end of the day. It's his prerogative at the end of the day. So
I think maybe
it'll turn into something down the road.
If he would have found someone that says, hey, I want to buy it or take it over or whatever, and then he could have sold it and said, okay, I'll sell it to you on the condition that you continue serving all the customers. But I think what might have happened was that he was giving, because of maybe the deal involved this agency plans and people are reselling accounts, right? I think he may have been offering too much, and that's why it sold so much, because it was a good deal. Because
okay.
And I think that was the reason that it probably failed, is he was offering too good of a deal that he couldn't maintain. But then also maybe having some drama because, they had the co-founder left, the developers weren't following through, a lot of stuff going on there, right? But also, I don't know when the last time he was selling the lifetime deal prior to shutting down. Like, I actually didn't find that information out. But if it was like, who knows how that kind of came about. But.
Well, Matt, good on you, man. For I didn't, just for you watching this video, Matt didn't give me the update on any of this. I'm learning about all of this at the same time as you. And but Matt, good on you for correcting the misstatements that we shared in the last one. This is a totally chill show. Good morning, marketers. Totally chill show for marketers and content creators. And we're always going to be happy to discuss what content creators and marketers care about. But we'll certainly correct misstatements when they occur.
Yeah. It wasn't anything too bad. I mean, it was just, the Mohammed from the digital thing, he was like, hey, I didn't process the payments. That was the main thing, right? But also just like how long LeadCart was in business. So that's kind of it. But I mean, I think at the end of the day, it comes down to the consumer. If you're going to buy a lifetime deal, do your research. Because I can't imagine, like, if you would have done your research on best shopping cart platforms, like ThriveCart is obviously would have been better. I just don't see why people were buying LeadCart in the first place. Just knowing what the lifetime deal market is like you got to do your research. So that's why I don't put all the blame on Mo.
That's fair.
On either Mo. Because as a consumer, you're buying the product, you got to do your research. That's part of the deal when you're getting a lifetime deal. You got to do your research to know. So I hope Mo's next company, or Mo from LeadCart's next company, I think he's got a new thing going on. Hopefully that one, if that one turns out bad the same way this one, I think he's kind of against the whole idea of lifetime deals. He was explaining to me that he doesn't think that any great product will be on lifetime deal. So
because his argument is it's not sustainable. Is that what?
Yeah, he was saying LeadCart was like an MVP. He's like, why would I offer a lifetime deal if it's a great product? that sort of thing. But at the same time, he sees the value in ThriveCart's model. So I don't know. There was a little bit of like, we were not, we didn't have like a phone call. We were just, texting. Right. So
and in our other episode that we'll throw the card up in the top of the screen there for the viewer, that you listed off some fantastic reasons why a company would want to offer a lifetime deal for sure. So go check out the other episode.
There's definitely some good things to do. So wish them all the best. I hope they're, I don't think the whole pay kickstart offer is like a good deal, because lifetime deal people don't want to pay monthly fees. And I don't know what pay kickstart is about, if they're new or whatever, but I think if you bought LeadCart and you're looking for a shopping cart solution, I'd say ThriveCart. Obviously I'm an affiliate for it, whatever, but I'm just saying I use that and I think it's good. Otherwise, SamCart is also really good. They've been around. If you're on WordPress, you can set up WooCommerce. There's stuff like that. I think there's another one called Cart Flows that was on another WordPress based one. There's a lot of options out there that are established. So just buy, do your research. But if you're going to buy a lifetime deal on something that's going to be really important for your business, you're going to want to invest into a good software. That's all.